All right, lesson number one is always put your phone on silent when you're recording a video because really annoying companies that call you incessantly will do it at the worst possible time. But today I want to talk about how you can actually get things done in your life or your business that you want to do. And this is everything from personal goals. Maybe you want to read more this year, you want to finish, making over your bedroom or creating new meals in the kitchen, whatever it is that you feel you would like to do in your personal life, either more consistently or as a project, you can track and become more productive. And the same thing in your business. If you want to launch a new program, if you want to get more active on social media, or you even want to close more clients, then you should be doing some simple things. And I realize this because some of the things that I do every day are foreign to other people. So I wanted to share a little bit of my process. The first, aside from putting your phone on airplane mode or ignore everybody in the world mode when you're doing a video, is this app called Productive. And I've been using Productive since February, and I really like it because it allows me to set goals and specify what day of the week I want to do this task, and morning, afternoon, night, any time of day, and then check them off. So I'm actually going to go to my, what they call life log, and show you what July looks like. Now, I've slipped on a few tasks so that I wasn't doing everything every day. And then about a week ago, I got back into getting perfect days, which you'll see with a solid green. So solid green are perfect days, which I think are really fun because it's motivating. Now, let me show you March. I had a lot of perfect days in March. Doesn't that look great? But now let me show you June. No perfect days. That doesn't mean I didn't do the tasks. I just didn't do every task every day, at least once a day, or at least once during that month. But the cool thing is that I can set these goals and see what my consistency is. One of the first goals I set was to eat breakfast on a daily basis because I always feel better when I get some protein first thing in the morning, but I would typically get distracted. So I'd be answering emails and I'd get on a call and then the dogs would need to go out and then I'm running on an errand and pretty soon it's afternoon and I can't figure out why I have a headache. So since I set the goal of eating breakfast consistently, I have done it every single day since February. And it's really cool to see that progress and to see that it is such a consistent thing. So you can see here 148 times. My weekly average is 7 a week, and my current streak is 148 times. Now, that might seem simple for you. It might be like, well, I mean, why don't you just put breathing, Kelly? Then you could check that off too. But for me, it was something that wasn't a part of my routine until I started tracking it. And tracking it and having some gamification to this of seeing those perfect days is motivating for me. Now, one of the other things that I added as a personal task was to brush and floss my teeth every night. And I did this so when I go to the dentist for a cleaning, I don't get that judgmental glare of their like, when did you last floss? You were like, dude, you were there. You did it for me. But I can't check off that task unless I also floss. So, of course, you're going to brush your teeth before you go to bed or, otherwise you have sewer mouth at night. But if I don't do the flossing, then I can't check off the task. So it's really helped me be more consistent with flossing. So you can see how personal tasks, personal habits that you want to create can be improved by having something like this app, which is called Productive. I believe it's only available on the iPhone. But you could do the same thing for your business. And first of all, it starts with breaking it down into smaller tasks. So a bad goal for me would be eat. Well, like throughout the day, when? Like I don't track lunch and dinner. I just track breakfast. That's the most important step for me. In the same way that I don't have like clean your room, like I'm a 10-year-old who's like been, sent to her room. I have specific things in there. Like on Tuesdays, I take out and empty all the trash cans and then put the trash cans at the curb. But every day I do have them there to make my bed because I like the way it looks and we're less likely to have dogs like making a mess in my room. So you got to be specific about what task it is you want to complete. So let me give you an example in your business. Let's say that your goal is to get more active on social media. If you set the goal to do social media, you're probably going to fail. What does that mean? There's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat. I'm sure there's 8 other softwares that have just sprung into being this morning. And if you're just going to do it, that doesn't get you clear enough on what needs to be done. So maybe you want to create a graphic to talk about, something that you're experiencing. Your task needs to be create graphic for Instagram. Or your task needs to be go live on Facebook on Thursdays. You need to get specific about what action needs to happen and what is that trigger action. So let's say that you're going to go live on Insta stories, you're going to go live on Facebook, and you're going to do it weekly to talk about your latest blog post. Well, that's a great goal unless you don't write the blog post. So one of the tasks probably needs to be to draft the blog post and then publish it, and then to go live on Facebook and Insta stories. So you can start to see how breaking things down will help you in multiple ways. So, instead of working out, one of your goals could be to go to the gym and spend 20 minutes on the treadmill, or 30 minutes doing laps in the pool, or 20 minutes lifting weights. Be specific about what action you want to take, because that way you're halfway there. Now, one thing I will say is that sometimes your trigger action, your kind of incentive to do something can be super simple. So let's say that you want to drink more water throughout the day. I actually just finished a fresh water bottle. Your trigger action could be to get a bottle of water from the fridge and put it on your desk. Or your action could be to fill up your reusable water bottle. So your action doesn't necessarily have to be consume, 16 ounces of water. It could just be the act of refilling your bottle, because that's where you get stuck. Another example of this would be one of your tasks personally could be something like put on running shoes. And you know that what stops you from, getting out and doing a walk or a run throughout the day is that, you're usually barefoot and you're not wearing your workout clothes. Well, if your task in the morning was to put on your workout clothes and lace up your shoes, you're probably 50% more likely to get out the door. So think of ways that you could kind of figure out the first task or where you get stuck and what's holding you back. I do recommend the app Productive. I've talked about it on my blog several times before. I really enjoy it. I think it's a couple bucks to get the paid version, which gives you lots of different options for tasks. And when I first started, I was actually really good at keeping things every single day. They have something called a life log that tells you kind of how well you're doing, both by the task and overall. So I started at the end of February, but if you look at March, I had a lot of perfect days, which are those solid green days. And that meant that a perfect day means I did every task every day. And then I kept adding tasks, and then some of them I added, but I wasn't really good. April was funny because most of my perfect days were Saturdays because I didn't have a whole lot of other responsibilities. But then if we look at June, no perfect days. That makes me sad. So I actually just started getting into it again here in July and have now a string of perfect days because it's motivating to see that you're accomplishing everything that's there. And if there's something that you're not accomplishing on a regular basis, to me it means I either need to reset my goal and reevaluate if it's that important to me, or I need to really dedicate myself to getting that done. So whether you use this for your personal life or your business, I highly encourage you to start tracking your tasks and your habits on a daily basis and make it fun. Don't make it this tedious, boring thing that you feel like you're in school for. Make it fun, because this is how, at least for me, I'm improving my life.